Do you feel like no matter how hard you try to learn something new and put in so much effort, and then you keep falling on your face? So then you find yourself never really giving 100% of your effort because it just hurts so much to never be successful? Well, if you can relate to that, I got you. My name is Dara Thomason, and this is the Quilters Coach podcast, episode 156. You got that right. The name has changed. I'm excited today for this podcast episode because I'm going to be talking to you about this journey that I have been on and that I continue to help women go on. And in fact, at the time of this coming out, it will be a 6-year anniversary of me learning about life coaching tools. In the middle of July of 2018, I was scrolling. I was trying to escape the things that were going on. And one of my design crushes, Dina Reuter, had put a post saying that she was going to life coach school and that she needed some guinea pigs to do some one-on-one coaching. I thought, oh my goodness, I am a mess. I'm a disaster. What do I have to lose? So I said yes to her. And by saying yes to her, it changed everything. And the one thing that really resonated with me and the thing that took me over the edge of putting myself out there and saying, yes, I will commit to spending time with you, was she said, I have a tool that will solve any problem. Well, first of all, I felt extremely guilty that I even had problems. I had everything I wanted. I had a loving husband. I had 5 awesome kids. I loved being their mom. I lived on a beautiful island. I owned a home. I had electricity. I had cars. I had so much. I had lots and lots of fabric. So I felt really guilty, feeling like I appreciated my life. I had friends. We had just moved here. I had so much, but yet I felt so discouraged. I felt so down. Oh, when she said that she had a tool that could solve any problem, that really did spark my curiosity. Now, normally, beginning of every podcast, I share the ripple effects of what happens in the lives of the women in my program. So I want to let you know that at the end of this podcast, you will know what this one tool is. And you will also have learned really important aspects about yourself that will help encourage you as you think about how do you go ahead and solve the issues that you have in your own life. The person I'm going to share right now is actually, I just came back from Quilt Canada. And it was in Edmonton. It was really fun. And I was able to meet several of the members in my program. One of the members, her husband, I got to meet him. And it was so fun to meet him because he has heard my voice. He has seen the change that's happened to his wife by being in the program. He just had such a big smile on his face. He was so grateful for the community and the influence of good that this program has had. So it was really lovely to meet him and to have that interchange. I've been thinking a lot about what actually this program that I've created has provided for women. I didn't intend to be a life coach. I wanted to be a business coach for quilters. But as I went to different gurus and different marketing experts, they just emphasized to me, you have to niche down. You have to say that you are a weight loss coach and specifically for the quilting people. And I kept fighting back and saying, well, weight loss is the side effect. Oh, yes, we can talk about weight loss. We can talk about the science and things. But if you don't do the mental part, and I'm going to be talking about that mental part, one of my favorite tools today's episode, then they're not going to have this lasting change. It's not going to stick. I kind of fought back with these people. I didn't know much. I mean, when I was quilting for hire, even though I had a closet full of quilts, sometimes I had up to 50 quilts, you don't make a ton of money quilting. And so I just didn't feel very confident of being a coach. And so I just thought, okay, I need to niche down and I need to just talk about weight loss. Even though if you came to any one of my coaching calls, you would see that the majority of the coaching I do has to do with the way that they are thinking about their spouse or about their children or about their work or about their productivity. And all those things influence your relationship with your body, how you move your body, the kind of food you eat, how often you overeat. All of that is influence. In the last few months, I have been really pondering on this idea of loving yourself thin. One of the difficulties with that name is that it implies that if you are overweight, it's that you don't love yourself. And also it implies that that wasn't my intention. It could imply that the only way that you can be of worth or of value is if you are thin. But the end goal is not to be thin. The end goal is to be healthy and to be calm and peaceful. It wasn't sitting with me. And I felt like it was a bit of a trigger. Sometimes it's good to have triggers in business. It wasn't sitting well. And so as I've been pondering and reflecting, I'm just going to say what I am. I'm the life coach for quilters. I am a life coach, and I coach on your life and the decisions you make. And those decisions we make in our life have ramifications. If you don't allow yourself to really look at your thoughts and really look at your life, then you're living a life that you don't even recognize. Doesn't even make any sense. Yesterday was my third son's high school graduation. My oldest son didn't have a grad because of COVID. And it's always interesting in those kinds of ceremonies where it's the similar kinds of talks. They're all very quite the same. And it's this new beginnings or a way of changing and moving forward. And so I feel like there was an end of an era. I will still be coaching on weight loss. Don't you worry, because it all comes together. Now, the program, what's going to happen moving forward, it will still have the same membership. It's where it's $2,000 and you're in for life, but you have lots of different tracks. So let's say you want to improve your marriage. Let's say you want to decide, do I stay married? Am I going to stay married, or what am I going to do? Or let's say you wanted to maybe start a quilting business. I can coach you on business. Let's say you want to work on your relationship with your siblings. Maybe your friendships. Maybe you're feeling like you don't really have as many friends as you would like. Or what about your productivity? I'm going to have all these different topics, and you go and you say, hey, you know what, Dara, I really want to be more productive. I really want to work on my perfectionism and be more productive. And I say, okay, no problem. Now, this is now you go to the train station and you put in your destination, more productivity. And then I say, this is the route that you need to go on. So you will watch these modules in this order and answer these worksheets. Isn't that amazing? It's like you're in front of a vending machine with healthy salads. It's healthy breakfasts. It was awesome. So it's like, oh, I just want this. So I push that in and then you'll get it. Just like you're going to the train, you want to go to Albany. So you say, plane ticket or train ticket to Albany. Let's go. Okay. So that is how the Quilters Coach program is going to work. I don't officially have the name yet for the actual program. We're working on it. But we know this far. So the Quilters Coach podcast, where you can piece together the life that you want. Well, let's think about life coaching. I didn't know anything about life coaching. In fact, I thought it was wackadoodle. And in some ways, there are a lot of wackadoodle coaches out there, because life coaching is actually not a regulated system. It's not like therapy or where you have to get, a university degree and then there's different tests. Life coaching is kind of the Wild West. So you can get all sorts of different life coaches. I'm very upfront about that. But the way that I look at life coaching and the training that I did and the work that I've been doing since I started business coaching in the summer of 2019. So life coaching it's kind of like we sit on a couch and we're watching the movie of your life. I'm able to, as the coach, to show you this is your life. I remember one time, one of my first clients, she kind of stopped after we were about 20 minutes into the session, and she's like, did you hire a private investigator to follow me around? And I was like, no, I did not. Like, how do you know so much about me? Like, how do you know all this? And I said, it's because the way you're talking, I can see what you're saying, because 95% of our thoughts are subconscious, right? We don't have a super awareness of them. So we don't realize that they're happening. Being able to have a coach reflect what you're really thinking and what's really happening, and you get this whole new perspective. It's invaluable. When you think about the human brain, our brain wants to put things to make them easier and easier. So we make them into habits. When we were little and we were learning how to use a sippy cup, for example, it took a while to figure out how to hold the cup with both hands with equal pressure and then lift that up to our mouths and then learn how to drink from that way. And the more that we did it, the more practice, the body would then say, okay, this is habitual. We can figure this out. And then it becomes second nature. It's kind of like when you first move to a new place, it's very overwhelming because we don't know all the places. We don't have those easy go-to. So and you have to not only have to navigate new roads and new places, but then you have to get new grocery stores and get the new rhythm of the grocery store and then the post office and all those things that felt, and it's a lot for the brain to have to take in, but eventually it now becomes second nature. Life coaching is very similar to that. It is able to slow things down, look at what you're doing, and then make decisions on purpose. Do I want to change these habits? And if I do, how can I change them? Well, on the worksheet, I have, what are 5 of the biggest obstacles you've had in your life? Well, I have 5 spots. So maybe one was not getting married. In my religion, we tend to get married kind of younger, and I wasn't younger. They would say things to me like, well, you're so pretty. Why aren't you married yet? You're so accomplished. Why aren't you married yet? There's lots of different obstacles that we've had. My parents getting a divorce, that was a huge obstacle for me. When I first started teaching, getting a job in the public system, working in a private school and also nannying at the same time, and then going back to university to upgrade to ESL certification. That was a big balancing act, and how to navigate being back after serving a full-time mission. That was a really big obstacle for me of how to prioritize my time and the way I thought about things. I want you to brainstorm about yourself. What are some of those obstacles when you look back in your life? What were really hard? And how did you work through those? So what were the ways? And some of you, most likely, if you're a human, you haven't worked through them. Some of us just plow through things and we don't actually resolve them. We just kind of shove them aside. You guessed it. I just keep toting that around everywhere we live. And I just keep having a storage space for it because either I don't want to learn how to knit, read a pattern and knit it, or I don't want to, the wool isn't really that soft. And I just don't deal with it. That's what I've done. I have a bin, it's labeled, and it's there. And I don't think about it because it makes me feel frustrated that I spent all that money and effort and been storing it for so long. But think about something that you have overcome. Going to counseling, interviewing successful couples, actively working on my own marriage, and putting my own marriage as a priority. Those are things that I've done. So now this gets me to the part of the podcast where what was the clincher for me when I made a decision about getting 6 coaching calls with Dina. And she said that she had a tool that solved any problem. So this is a framework. So in the worksheet, we have 5 words. We have circumstance, thought, feeling, actions, and results. So the circumstance is something that is factual. A circumstance would be parents' divorce. Another circumstance could be we could prove it in the court of law. Basketball practice. As I'm recording, I'm looking at the clock. I'm like, it's 3:46. The boys have practice at 4:45. I've got the chicken wings. Do I make them beforehand? Do I make them after? That would be the circumstance. Basketball practice at 4:45. We have to leave the house. Anyways, so then I have a thought. I don't have enough time to do what I want to do. Like whatever thought that is. Let's just say I have the thought, I don't have time to do the things that I want to do. And then when I have that thought, then my next part of the model is the feeling. What feeling do I have? Maybe it's anger, maybe it's frustration, maybe it's impatience, maybe it's unfair. I've got a room full of quilts that I want to be working on for a friend. So let's say the feeling is frustration. So now I am going to be fueled by frustration. By what do I do when I act out of frustration? Well, I might get snippy with my kids. I might feel resentful. I might push myself to the last limit and then rush them into the car and then head there quickly. And maybe I might talk a little bit more harshly with them to be like, come on, you guys. And then when I'm waiting for them at their basketball, maybe I'm impatient. Maybe I'm going to scroll on my phone because I'm frustrated because I don't have enough time to do all the things that I want to do. So because I'm going to be fueled from whatever feeling that is. And then when you look at all of those actions that I just said, that creates my results. So now my result is I don't have enough time to do the things that I want to do because I'm not using my own time wisely. So with this model, it shows you why you're getting the results you're getting. How often at the end of the day you think, oh, that was a terrible day. I never have time to do what I want to do. What a waste of time. Who did I think I was to be able to make changes? All of that. Okay. So then now when we slow down the model, you can start seeing the results we have. So there is that expression out there that says you are what you think. And what life coaching does, it actually shows you you're getting the results that you're getting. I'm really looking forward to continuing to serve you. I absolutely love reading your comments about the podcast. I love meeting with you. Those of you who have been following my podcast for a long time, you have so much awareness. It's just so awesome to me. I'll never forget the Life Coach School podcast and Jody Moore's podcast just changed my life. I never even knew it was possible for me to think differently. So just as I close, I want to reflect back on that I was scared in July of 2018 because I was 46 years old and I was 205 pounds. And I thought, I'm just going to gain 5 pounds a year for the rest of my life. So by the time I was 65, that's 20 years, that's 100 pounds. I would have been 305 pounds at 65. I would not be able to be the grandma I would want to be at 305 pounds. I wouldn't be able to do the hikes. I wouldn't be able to go swimming with them. I wouldn't be able to babysit them as much. I would need a lot of help because I would be exhausted. Carrying an extra 100 pounds around everywhere I went would be devastating. When I learned these tools and I embraced them and I worked on them, it has changed everything. Not only have I lost 50 pounds and I've kept it off, but I've been able to build an incredible coaching business. I have been able to buy a house for my mom. We are almost mortgage free. Plus I have that second home and I have been able to go on trips, take my kids to Hawaii, to Mexico, to do things I never thought we could ever do. Normally we would go camping. We didn't have those kinds of funds. I have been able to be the witness of so many women transforming their lives. It's just incredibly humbling. The other thing that's happened for me is my marriage and my relationship with my kids, my siblings, my parents has changed so much. Personally, when I look in the mirror, I have never felt more beautiful in my life. And I'm 50. And the reason I feel so beautiful and the reason I feel so powerful is because I'm becoming more and more who I really, really am. I'm not always worrying about what other people think all the time. I'm truly able to be becoming more and more who I really am. And I want that for you. I want that freedom. I want that level of joy and liberation for you. And that is why I produce this podcast. That is why I show up in my membership. That is why I go to my own life coach, my own, always working on overcoming my own obstacles. I'm unlocking this gate of what my possibilities can be for me. Sometimes I think back of how I think when I know this little girl and I was one of the 8 Ds. My family, my mom and dad are both, their names start with D. And then my siblings, there's 6 of us, and we all have Ds. And sometimes that was really fun, but sometimes people would say, oh, you're just another one of those Ds. Just another one of those. Like, have a name. I didn't really have, like, I wasn't this unique person. And there's a lot of different expectations put on you. And sometimes you didn't feel like you had the voice. Even going to university, my mom said, well, you can either be a teacher or you can be a social worker. Those are your choices. So learning how to become that person is amazing. And I want that for you. And that's why I show up. Even when things don't always turn out. The life of an entrepreneur is challenging, but it's worth it. I have the confidence of the tool that help me know that I can solve any problem, even when things feel like the chips are really down. If these words that I'm sharing resonate with you, please come. I am the life coach for quilters. I truly have tools that can change everything for you. You just have to be willing to show up for you. But I got you. And I have an amazing community of women that you will be blown away by. No more delay. We got this. Have a great day. If you want more help with learning about your body and how it's changing through menopause, perimenopause, through whatever it is, my program is focused on helping you truly become your own best expert. So as we go through June, working on our menopause, perimenopause experiences, July, we're focusing on becoming our own bestie, July and August actually, with our summertime challenge. And then in August, we're really diving into how to lose the physical weight when you focus so much on the mental. I have an incredible program for that coming in August. So there's so much to look forward to. You truly can make your own transformation. And I love helping you find that inner knowledge and wisdom that's just waiting for you to unlock so that you can create permanent change for yourself.